Welcome back. So we are going to move to section B of our 2022 mathematics grade 9 past paper. Specifically, this is paper 1. We're going to continue with our revision. So now section B requires you to be solving. That's the good part of this section. So I would require you guys to get your books ready, or just a piece of paper, and get your pen and rule, so that you might follow me closely and write whatever I'm going to write on my board. So now, question 11 of section B. Question 11 of section B is saying, given that f of x is equals to 2 over 3x minus 2, find f of negative 3. F of x is equals to 2 over 3x minus 2. Find f of negative 3. So now, what we are going to do, I think you might have observed this, because where there is x here, they have actually replaced it with what? With negative 3. So it means that in our equation here, where there is x, we're going to replace with negative 3. So this will be the same as saying f of negative 3. Where there's x, put negative 3 there, which is 2 over 3. Again, negative 3, then minus 2. Then from there, you're going to evaluate and do your normal mathematics. So now, what you are going to do here, 2 over 3 multiplied by negative 3. As you can see, 3 and 3 actually, they are common. So it means that you can just cancel them out. In other words, divide them out. So 3 divided into 3, it is 1. Then now, it means that here there's going to be negative 1. Negative 1 multiplied by 2 will give us negative 2. Then that is minus 2. Then at the end of it, if you are subtracting numbers with the same signs, you are actually going to add the numbers. So as you can see, negative 2 minus 2, these guys, they have the same sign. So we are going to add them. Instead of you saying 2 minus 2, you're going to say 2 plus 2, which will give us 4. Then you're going to maintain the sign, which in this case, it will be negative 4. Negative 4 is our final answer. Negative 2 minus 2 will give us negative 4 as our final answer. Now, we move on to question 12. Question 12 of section B. In the following diagram, the bearing of C from D is 245. So this is our diagram. This is our diagram. In the following diagram, this is our diagram. As you can see, this is the northing, or the north. Then this is our point D, and that is our point C. In the following diagram, C from D is actually 245 degrees. So as you can see, the distance from here to there is 245 degrees. The question is saying, find the bearing of D from C, meaning that we're going to move from C going to D. So the first step that we're going to get, we are going to draw a northing line on point C, because we are coming from C. A northing line on point C. So I'm going to use a red marker so to differentiate the line that I'm drawing. And then if you're using a pencil, you can actually draw dotted lines to ensure that this line was not part of your question. So as you can see, this is my northing line. That's the first step that I've taken. So I've drawn my northing line in red. So now I'm going to move from C to D. And specifically, I will move clockwise. I'm going to move clockwise. So it means that if I am moving from C to D, I'm going to move this distance, which in this case is this one. So as you can see, the distance from C to D is actually this angle there. So now our job is to find what this angle is actually representing. So what are we going to do? So now, looking at these nothing lines, they're actually parallel. So I'm going to extend this other nothing line here using my red marker there, as you can see. So now, if you try to see, from this point to this point is actually 180. Then they said that the distance from C to D there is actually 245 degrees. So what we are going to do, we are going to subtract 180 from 245. 180 from 245, of which we are going to get that is 5. Then 24 minus 18, we are going to get, actually that is 7 there, which is in this case, it is, sorry, going to get 6. That is 65. 245 minus 180 will give us 65. So now, since this is a straight line, a nothing line and this nothing line, these guys are parallel, and there is a Z that has been made there. So meaning that the angle that is here, it is actually alternating with this angle at C there. So it means that if this is 65, then the angle there, it is also 65. So you can just say, okay, therefore our distance from D from C, our distance D from C is actually equal to 65 degrees Celsius. 65 degrees Celsius. That is our bearing. The bearing of D from C is 65 degrees Celsius. That's our answer. So now we'll move on to the next question. Next question of section B. The next question of section B is saying, let me just clean my board. It's very important to always clean your surroundings. So now, yes, the question is saying, given that x is equals to -3, take note of that, x is equals to -3 and y is equals to 1, find the value of 3x squared minus 4xy. Given that x is equals to -3 and y is equals to 1 there, find the value of 3x squared minus 4x. So what we are going to do, we are just going to substitute, because they have already given us the value of x and the value of y. So where there is x, you replace with -3. Where there is y, you replace with +1 there. So this will be 3 open brackets -3 squared minus 4 open brackets -3, then open brackets, that is 1. So now before we multiply 3 by -3 there, the first thing that we're going to do is evaluate the power. We are going to evaluate the power, so meaning that we are going to find what -3 to the power 2 is. So -3 to the power 2 is actually +9. +9 times 3, we are going to get 27. So -3 to the power 2, that is +9, minus -4 times that is 3, which will give us +12. Then 3 times 9 is 27 plus 12. Now if you add 27 with 12, your final answer is going to be 39 as your final answer. Meaning that the value of 3x squared minus 4xy when x is equals to -3 and y is equals to 1 is 39. That is our final answer there. So without wasting much of our time, we'll move on to the next question. Our next question is saying, solve the equation 5y minus 9 is equals to y minus 1. 5y minus 9 is equals to y minus 9. So the first thing that you're going to do, collection of like terms. So y and y, we are going to collect them. So I'm going actually to bring y this side. It's going to cross the equal sign, of which at the end of each you're going to have 5y minus y is equals to, and then this -9 is going to go on the other side of the equation, which will be -1 plus 9. 5y minus y is going to give us for y is equals to -1 plus 9. Our final answer there is going to be actually positive 8. Remember, different signs, we subtract and get the sign of the bigger number. Then divide by 4, divide by 4, the value of y is equals to 2. That is the value of y. The value of y is equals to 2. This is question 14 of section B. We move on to question 15. Question 15 is saying, given a matrix P, this is our matrix P, 1, -3, 4, and 2. Given the matrix P, find the question A is saying state the order of the matrix. State the order of the matrix. So this is the matrix that has been given. State the order. So remember, when you want to state the order, we are going first of all to list the number of rows that are present. Then we are also going to list the number of columns that are present in that matrix. So looking at our matrix, the rows in this case, we have the first row which contains 1 and 4. The second row is containing -3 and 2. So meaning that our matrix there has 2 rows. This is 2, then by or multiplied. So as you can see, our column is the first column, it has 1 and -3. Then the second column has 4 and +2. So meaning that it has 2 columns. So it means that the order of this matrix P there is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. 2 by 2 matrix. Then now, without wasting much of our time, we move on to the second question, which is saying question B, find 2P. Find 2P. So now, remember that P is representing a matrix, which is in this case 1, 4, -3, and 2. Then 2 is representing a scalar number. So now, what we are going to do is this, right? Where there is P, we are going to replace with the whole matrix P. So we will say this is 2, then open brackets, we have the matrix, -3, 4, and 2. So now, what this means, it means that this scalar number is going to multiply all the members that are actually found in matrix P. All the members that are going to be found in matrix P. So this will be 2 multiplied by 1 to give us 2. 2 multiplied by -3 to give us -9. 2 multiplied by 4, it will give us 8. Then 2 multiplied by 2, it will give us +4. So meaning that our value there, it is 2, 8, -9, and +4. That is our final answer. Meaning that if you evaluate 2P or 2 multiplied by matrix P, you're going to get this answer as your final answer. We move on to the next question, which is actually binary numbers. This question was gotten from the topic binary numbers. So now, question 16 of section B. Question 16 is saying convert 5.625 into base 2. Convert 5.625 into base 2. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to separate these numbers, of which we're going to have 5 and 0.625 if you separate them. So meaning that if you add 5 and 0.625, they still give you 5.625. And now we are going to convert 5 as a whole number into base 2. So this is how we convert. That is 5, and that's the column that we'll be using to write our remainders, and this is the column that contains the number base 2 there. So now we're going to divide 2 into 5. It is going to actually give us 2, remainder 1. Then 2 into 2 is going to give us 1, remainder 0. Then 2 into 1 is going to give us 0, remainder 1. So this means that if you convert 5 into base 2, you are going to get 101. So now when you are actually writing the numbers, you're going to start from the bottom until the top there. So now we're going to write it like this. This will be 1. As you can see, we're going in this manner, 1, 0, 1. Then don't forget that this is not the end of our answer, because the question said convert 5.625. So we have converted 5 into a binary number. Then we are also going to convert 0.625 into a binary number. So instead of dividing, we are going to be multiplying 0.625 there with 2. So we'll say this is 0.625 multiplied by 2, and then every time whenever you multiply it by 2, you're going to get the integer, or should I say the first number before the point. Now look at this, right? Let's see what is going to happen. 2 multiplied by 5, that's a 0. 2 multiplied by 2, it's a 4, plus 1, that is actually 5. Then this will give us 2.5. So now, as you can see, after multiplying 0.625 by 2, we have gotten 1.250 as our answer. So now, like I said, you're going to get the first number before the point. So the first number before the point there, it is 1. So you're going to write 1 and seclude it just like that. So now if we remove 1 there, we're going to remain with a 0. So meaning that now, instead of you multiplying 1.25 by 2, you're going to multiply 0.250 by 2. Remember, we have gotten rid of this 1. We have secluded it to a safe place. Here it is. This is our 1. Then now, 2 multiplied by 0.25, you're going to get, that is 0. That is 0 carry 1, then that is 5, then that is 0. So now looking at this point, the first number before the point there, it is 0. So we are going to write it together with 1 just like that. Then lastly but not the least, we are going to multiply this until we get a whole number. So now 2 multiplied by 0 is 0. 2 multiplied by 0, then 2 multiplied by 5, it is 10. So you're going to write 0 carry 1. Then 2 multiplied by this 0, which is after the point, you're going actually to get 0 plus that 1, you're going to get 1 as your final answer there. So now you're going to get this 1 again, because that is your final answer, and exclude it with the other numbers that you have been excluding just like that. So now these numbers that we have been collecting will actually be our numbers that we have been looking for. So now remember, at this stage we were actually getting the numbers, counting them from bottom until top, but in this case we're going to start from top until to the bottom there. So meaning that our value, when you convert 0.625 into base 2, you're going to get 0.101. So now when you put these numbers together, it means that 5.625, when it is converted to base 2, you're going to get 101,101 as your final answer in base 2. This is 5.625 converted into what? Into base 2, just like that. So now, without wasting much of our time, we move on again to the next question, which is question 17 of section B. Question 17 of section B. So now, this is question 17. It is saying, it is actually the Venn diagram, or should I say a set. So now, the Venn diagram below shows set A and set B. Okay, so this is our Venn diagram. That is our Venn diagram. That is set A and that is set B. Then within these sets, we have members A, we have B, we have C, and D, E. Yeah, that is E. Then we have F, and lastly but not the least, we have a G there. So now the question is saying, can you use a set notation to describe the set with elements D, E, F, G? A set notation to describe elements D, E, F, G. So now, when you want to find a set notation that is actually describing these numbers D, E, F, G, you just have to find them. You see, you just have to find them. And then now, since G is actually not part of the set A and B, it means that one of these sets had a complement, so we don't know which one. So now, as you can see, D, E, F, G, these are actually the sets that are not found in set A. So now you're going to write it like this. You say you're going to find a complement, of which a complement there, it is actually D, E, G. D, E, F, G. So these are the numbers that are not found in any of the sets there. They are not found in set A. So meaning that the notation that these guys were using, it was actually just a complement there. So if you say a complement, you're going to get D, E, F, and G. So the set notation that these guys were using was actually a complement. So you just say, therefore, the set notation is a complement, because a complement is representing those numbers, just like that. And then now, without wasting much of our time, we move on to the next question, which is question 18 of section B. Question 18 of section B is actually saying, okay, so we have two triangles. Specifically, these are this seems like these are right angle triangle. We have two triangles, just like that. And then the first triangle has numbers, sides 6, 3, and 5. And then we have another triangle, okay, just like that. And then lastly but not the least, we have X there. So the question is saying the following triangles are congruent. So now when you talk about congruent triangles, we're talking about triangles that have the same sides. They have the same sides, they have the same interior angles. So now, if you try to see if this triangle is congruent to this triangle, it means that these two triangles are going to have the same sides. So now it is saying, can you find the value of X? So you're not going to solve here, you're just going to state the value of X there. So meaning that therefore our value of X, so as you can see, this side is being represented by this side, which is X. The other side is being represented by the side, which is 5 in this case. As you can see, that's where the interior angle that is being shown with two lines there is actually at. Then we have another angle there. So now if you try to see, this side is representing that side, meaning that our value of X in this case is going to be what? It's going to be 3. You see, in other questions, they're going to give you actually what you call, this is actually similarity and congruence. So now, like I said, when two triangles are congruent, they have the same sides, they have the same interior angles, and just like that, that's just the way it is supposed to be. But when two triangles are actually similar, it means that they do not have the same size, but the shape looks the same. You see? So now that's that. That's the way it's going to be, and that's the way it's going to end. We move on to question 19 of section B. Section B, question 19. We have a diagram. Okay, that is a diagram that we have been given. Okay, just like that. That's 90, 90, 90, and again 90, and then another 90 there. Then the distance from this side to that side, it is actually 9 centimeters, and this point is being represented by D, that point C, and this point is actually being represented by B, and this point is A. And then the length of SC, it is actually 3 centimeters. The length of AB, it is actually 5 centimeters. And now the question is actually saying, can you find the length of BC? They want us to find the length of BC. So now, as you can see, there are actually two shapes here. There is this triangle, which is a right angle triangle, and there is this rectangle. As you can see, ABDE. This is actually a rectangle, and then this is a triangle, which is BCD there. So now, in this triangle of ours, let me just exclude it just like that. So this is my point B, that is my point C, that is my point D. So they want us to find the value of BC. So for us to find the value of BC, we are going to use Pythagoras theorem. But before we do that, let's identify the sides. So BD is actually this side here. And then now, since this is a rectangle always has two sides which are equal. So as you can see, if AE is equals to 3 centimeters, it means that BD will also be equal to 3 centimeters there. Then now, if DC, the whole lot of this is actually 9 centimeters, and then part of AB is 5 centimeters, it means that even ED will also be 5 centimeters. DE will also be 5 centimeters. So if this is 5 centimeters and then the whole distance from E to C is 9 centimeters, it means that for us to find the side DC, which is here, DC, we are going to subtract 5 from 9, of which we are going to get a 4 there. So now we have 3, we have 4, we just have to find the other value there. So using Pythagorean theorem, we're going to say c squared, or a squared plus b squared, is equals to c squared. A squared plus b squared is equals to c squared. A and b, they're representing the adjacent, then c is the hypotenuse, which in this case is our bc there. Then now we are going to replace a and b can be any of the numbers that you could actually think of, any number of your choice. As you can see, if this is 3, that is a 4. What you can do is, where there is A, you can replace with 3. Where there is B, you can replace with 4, or vice versa, because the answer is still going to be the same. So now, where there's A, we replace with 3. It will give us, that is 3 squared, plus 4 squared is equals to c squared. So now, if you actually evaluate this, you are going to have 9 plus, that is 16, is equals to c squared there, 16. Now 9 plus 16, you're going to get 25, equal to c squared. And now remember, we are finding the value of c, not the value of c squared, so meaning that you're going to introduce a square root. And then now if you introduce a square root, you're going to have positive 5 as our final answer, because the square root of 25 is 5, so meaning that therefore BC, which is the hypotenuse, is actually equal to 5 centimeters there. That is the value of BC. And then now, without wasting much of our time, we move on to the next question. The next question, that's question 20. Question 20 of section B is saying a lady invested 260,000 kwacha in a bank for 3 years and earned 31,200 kwacha as the simple interest. Calculate the rate of interest. So a lady invested this money. So now this money that was invested in the bank is actually representing the principal, and then now when this money was deposited, the person earned about 31,200 kwacha. So meaning that this was the interest, or the simple interest, that was added on this money. Now that happened after 3 years. So now the formula that we are going to use will say simple interest is equals to P, which is principal, times rate times time. We want to find the rate interest. That is what the R is representing there. Then the whole lot of that is actually divided by 100 there. So now, where there is simple interest, replace with simple interest, which is actually 31,000. 31,200 kwacha is equals to, where there is principal, 260,000 kwacha multiplied by the rate that we are looking for, multiplied by the time, which in this case was actually 3 years, then divided by 100 there. So now 0 and 0, they're going to divide. So now when you multiply 26 multiplied by 3, you're going to get, so that is 31,200 is equals to 3 times 6, we have 18. Then 3 times 2, that is actually 6 plus 1, that is 7, which is 78, and 0, 0, these two zeros are going to be added just like that. Then times R there, times R. So you're going to have 7,800 times R. Then now the whole lot of that is actually going to be divided. So meaning that you're going to divide 31,000 with 7,800 there. then 0 and 0, they actually divide. You're going to remain with 312 divided by 78. So now, if you divide these two numbers, what you're going to get is this. So 312 divided by 72, 312 divided by 78, you're going to get a 4 as your final answer there. So remember, this is a rate, so meaning that a rate is always actually in form of a percentage. So this is 4% as the rate interest there. So meaning that our rate here was actually 4. 312 divided by 78, you are going to get a 4 there. So meaning that the rate over the whole principal there was actually 4% rate. And that is your final answer. And so we move on to question 21. Question 21. So feel free to pause the video and take a look at the answers. You can even try some of the questions, then try to check if actually your answers are correct by looking at what I am actually solving. Feel free to pause the video because that's the best way of actually revising a past paper. Then now we move on to question 21. Question 21 is actually saying simplify 4a minus 6b minus 7a plus 3b. Simplify 4a minus 6b minus 7a plus 3b. So the first thing that you're going to do, collection of like terms. So we are going to rearrange this into 4a minus 7a minus 6b, then plus 3b there. Then just evaluate the numbers. 4a minus 7a, you are going to get negative 3a. Then negative 6b plus 3b, you are going to get negative 2b. So this is your final answer. Just like that, you have simplified, you have made it in its simplest form, which is actually simple and straightforward. And then so we move on to question 22. Question 22 is saying the volume of a cylindrical block is actually 110. The volume of a cylindric block is actually 110 cubic centimeter. If its mass, listen to that, mass is actually 55 grams, find its density. So we have been given the volume, we have been given the mass. We can find the density by using the formula for density, which is density is equals to mass over volume. Now our mass there, it is 55, then that is divided by 110 grams, then cubic centimeter. So now as you can see, there's a number that can go into both 55 and 110 without leaving a remainder, which is actually 11. So 11 into 55 there, you're going to get a 5. Then 11 into 110 there, you're actually going to get a 10. Yes, you're going to get a 10. Then now if you divide these two numbers, you're going to get 0.5 grams per cubic centimeter as your density there. 0.5 grams per cubic decimeter. That will be our density if you divide those numbers. Remember, this is paper 1, meaning that you're not allowed to use a calculator. So now if you don't have a calculator, what are you going to do? Learn to reduce the numbers. That's what I have done. I've reduced the numbers in their lowest term so that it will be easy for me to solve them. Then now we move to the next question. The next question is actually question 23. Question 23 of section B is saying it's an inequation. Solve the inequation 9 plus 4x less than 1. Solve the inequation 9 plus 4x less than 1. So now looking at this question, you're actually going to solve it like this. So that's the way you always solve an equation. That's the way you're going to solve this inequation. Collection of like terms. So it will be 4x less than, then 9 comes on the other side. That will be 1 minus 9, of which at the end you're going to have negative 8. Then divide by 4. Divide by 4, it means that our final value there is going to be x is less than negative 2. So you need to be careful a little bit, because most of the mistakes that are usually made by learners who are always solving is that where there is this the less than sign, they actually always put the equal sign. So if the question was including a less than sign, do not include the equal sign. So meaning that if you were to write it like this, then this would be wrong, but instead the final answer there is supposed to be x less than -2. That is our final answer. We move on to the next question, which is question 24. Question 24. Question 24 of section B is actually saying a man bought 150 units. A man bought 150 units of electricity at 0.50 kwacha per unit. So each unit was actually sold at 0.50 kwacha. Then now from there the question is continuing to say for the first 100 units and the rest at 0.70 or 70. So now here's the question again. A man bought 150 units at 0.5 kwacha for the first 100 units, meaning that the first 100 units were actually bought at this amount of money there. Then now it continues to say that and the rest was actually bought at 0.70 per unity. So the question is saying that if you buy electricity units, 100 units specifically, you are going to pay 0.50. Then the rest that you're going to pay after that, you're going to buy them at 0.70. So now if we continue, question A is saying how much did he pay for the first 100 units? How much did he pay for the first 100 units? This one will be simple. You just say 100 units multiplied by the amount of money per unit, which is 0.50. Then now if you multiply this, you're going to get actually a 50 kwacha there. That is the answer that you're going to get, a 50 kwacha, meaning that for the first 100 units, this man paid a 50 kwacha. Then now it is saying that for the rest of the units that were bought, they were actually bought at 0.70 per unit. So meaning that the rest of the 50 units that were bought in this case, the rest of the 50 units that were bought were actually bought at 0.70, of which if you multiply 0.70 by 50, you are actually going to get, let's see, multiplying 50 by 0.70, you are actually going to get a 35 kwacha. So it means that for the first 100 units, he bought the electricity units at 50 kwacha. Then for the rest, which were bought actually at 35 kwacha, for the rest of the 50 units that were left out there. So now the question said, can you find how much he paid for the first 100 units? So you just multiply 100 by 0.50. Then the second question, which is question B, 24 of question B, calculate the total cost of the units of electricity the man bought. Now the total cost, as you can see, I have already found the amount of money that he paid for the rest of the 50 units. Remember, for the first 100 units, you pay 0.5. Then if you buy more than 100, you are actually going to pay 0.70. So now 100 plus 50 is going to give you 150. So it means that if you add the amount of money that was actually bought for the first 100 units, and then for the rest of the units, which is 35, you're going to get the total amount of money that this man paid for the electricity units there. So meaning that you say total is actually equated to 50 kwacha plus 35 kwacha, of which if you add this, you're going to get that is 75 kwacha. So this means, sorry, you're going to get 85 kwacha. 85 kwacha. This means that this person bought 150 units at 85 5/4. That's what it means there. Then now we move on to the next question, which is actually question 25. So allow me to clean my board again, because this is a question that requires us to draw a diagram. Now there you have it. All right, this is the diagram given. That is actually the diagram. Bear with me, my triangle is not that accurate. So we have E, we have point D, we have point C, we have point A, and we have point B. So AB and ED, they're actually parallel. Then this is 3 centimeter, B is 3 centimeter, then EC is 9 centimeter, then ED is actually 6 centimeter. So now the question is saying find the ratio of DE to AB in its lowest term. DE to AB in its lowest term. So this is now similarity. So now there are two triangles here. The first triangle is represented by CED, of which the distance from there to there, it is actually 9 centimeter. Then now the other distance is actually 6 centimeter. The second triangle is actually C, B, and A there. Then now the distance from B to C will be 3 plus 9, which in this case is 12 centimeter. Then now the question is saying, can you find the ratio in its lowest term, the ratio of DE to AB there? So we're going to actually compare these two. We'll say CE will be compared to BC, CE will be compared to BC, and then the ratio that we want to find is actually DE. So for us to find the ratio DE, the first thing we're going to find the value of BA. So now DE is actually being compared to AB, just like that. Then now the value of CE, it is actually 9 centimeters. The value of BC is 12 centimeters. Then the value of DE, we have 6 centimeters. We are finding the value of AB. So for us to find the ratio DE to AB, we need to have the value of AB. So now we say centimeter and centimeter, they divide. Then if we try to reduce these numbers in their lowest term, we're going to get that is 3 to 4, which is equals to 6 centimeter to AB. We write this ratio in fraction form. Is going to be like this: 3 over 4 is the same as saying 6 is equals to 6 centimeters over AB. Then close multiplication, you're going to have 3 multiplied by B. 3 multiplied by AB is equals to 4 multiplied by 6. 4 multiplied by 6, of which that is actually 24. Then divided by 3, divided by 3, then AB is actually equal to 80 centimeters there. That is our AB. AB is equals to 8 centimeters. Now, since we have the value of AB, it means that we can now find the ratio of DE to AB, of which you say therefore the ratio DE to AB is equals to 6 centimeter to 8 centimeter. In its lowest term, you're going to get 3 and 4. How did we get 3 and 4? We actually looked for a common number between 6 and 8. And the common number between 6 and 8, it is actually 2. So 6 divided by 2, you get a 3. Then 8 divided by 2, you're going to get what? 4. So meaning that this is the ratio of DE to AB in its lowest term. DE to AB in its lowest term. Now we move on to question 26 of our past paper. Question 26 of our past paper, which is now reading as follows. A regular polygon has interior angle 150 degrees. Take note of that. A regular polygon has interior angle 150 degrees. Find the number of sides of this polygon. So for us to find the number of sides of this polygon, we're going to use this simple formula. Exterior angle is equals to 360 degrees divided by n, which is representing the number of sides. Now, every interior angle always has an exterior angle. And then when you add the interior angle with the exterior angle, you're actually going to get the total amount of angles there, which is in this case would be 180. So when you add an interior angle with an exterior angle, you're going to get a 180. So every interior angle has an exterior angle. So using this interior angle that was given, we're going to find the exterior angle of this interior angle, of which we will say exterior angle is actually equal to exterior angle plus interior angle. This is equals to 180 degrees. So we have our interior angle, which is 150 degrees, is equals to 180 degrees. Collection of like terms, 180 degrees actually minus 150 degrees, you're actually going to get that is 30 degrees as your exterior angle. 30 degrees will be our exterior angle. Now, using this formula, we are going to actually find the number of sides, of which you say exterior angle is equals to the number of the total amount, or should I say the total number of angles, which is actually 360 degrees, divided by the number of sides. Now, where there's exterior angle, replace with the exterior angle that you have actually found in this case, which is a 30 degrees. Now, if you say 30 degrees is equals to 360 over n, close multiplication, you're going to have 30 degrees multiplied by n, which is equals to 360 degrees, then divided by 30, even this side by 30, you are going to get 0 and the 0 they divide, then 3 into 3 it is 1, 3 into 3 1, 3, that is 12. So meaning that if you say 360 divided by 30, you're going to get a 12 there. So meaning that the number of sides that this polygon had was actually 12 there, 12 sides. So the polygon was made of 12 sides, just like that. So that is the end of our question 26. Then we move on to question 27. Question 27 is saying evaluate. We have the square root of 81 plus the cube root of 27. So if you are evaluating this, first of all, get rid of the roots there. So now the square root of 81, it is 9, plus the cube root of 27, it is actually 3, meaning that a number that you can multiply 3 times by itself, it will actually give you 27, that is 3. Then a number that you can multiply 2 times, that will give you 81, so it is 9. So meaning that the square root of 81 is 9, the square cube root of 27 is 3. 9 plus 3 pada, you are going to get 12, just like that. You're going to get a 12, meaning that that is your answer. And then now we move on again to the next question, because this one is a simple one. Next question, question 28 of section B. Question 28 is reading as follows. We have a pie chart, and then upon this pie chart, we have been given information. This is actually a bus, that is actually a car, so that is a 90 degrees, and that is a bicycle. Then now the question is saying the pie chart shows the different ways in which 300 learners, take note of that, 300 learners get to a particular school. Then those who use a bus, they are actually 156 degrees. Then those who use a car, they are being represented by a 90 degrees. Then lastly but not the least, those who use a bicycle, they're being represented by I don't know. So now, the first thing, for us to find the number of learners who uses a bicycle, we first of all need to find the angle that is actually representing those learners who are using a bicycle. So now, we are going to label this as X because we don't know. So now, this is a complete revolution. So it means that if you add this angle there and 156 and 90, you're supposed to get 360 degrees. So now what we are going to do is we are going to add X plus 156 degrees plus 90 degrees, which is actually equal to 360 degrees. Remember, the whole main purpose of this is to find the angle representing the bicycle there. So now what are we going to do? when you add 156 plus 90 degrees, you're going to get x, that is 6, then that is 14, meaning that you have 246 degrees, which is equal to 360 degrees. Then now collection of like terms, x is equals to 360 degrees minus 246 degrees. Then at the end of each, you're going to get 114, just like that, 114 degrees. That is the value that you're going to get if you subtract 360 degrees from 246 from 360 degrees, just like that. So now, having that value, we are going to use it to find now the number of learners who were actually using a bicycle. So now we'll say 114 degrees. I hope you're seeing here, 114 degrees divided by the total number or the total revolution of angles, which is 360. Remember, we want to find the number of learners. Then the whole lot of this will actually be multiplied by what? By 300. 300 is the total number of learners who are going at this school. So now, as usual, just make sure that you reduce the numbers into their lowest form. So now, as you can see, then a number that can go into 36 and 30 without leaving a remainder, we have 3 itself, meaning that is 10, and that is actually 12, as you can see. 3 into 30, it is 10, then 3 into 36 there, you're going to get a 12. Then now a number that can go into 12 and 10 without leaving a remainder, it is actually 2 itself. So 2 into 12, you're going to have 6. Then 2 into 5, you're going to get 2 into 10, sorry, you're going to get a 5 there. Then now from there you can continue reducing, but before that we're going to have 114 divided by 6, then the whole lot of that times 5, just like that. And now we continue reducing until we get numbers that will actually be easy to use. So there's a number that can go into 6 and 114 without leaving a remainder, that is 2. So 2 into 6, that is 3, then 2 into 11, it is 5, remainder 1, meaning that that is 57 now. So this is 57 multiplied by, what's this? By 5. 57 multiplied by 5. So now if you multiply 57 by 5, you are actually going to get, so 5 times is 7, that is 35, which is 5 carry 3, then 5 times 5, which is 25 plus 3, which is 285, then divided by 3. Then now if you divide that by 3, you're going to get the final answer there to be 95. So if you see 3 into 28, it is actually 9, remainder 1, then 3 into 15, it is actually 5. So meaning that 95 learners were actually using a bicycle to walk to school. 95 learners were actually using a bicycle to walk what? To school there. That is your final answer. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Then lastly but not the least, we have question 29. Question 29 of section B. Question 29 of section B, we have a diagram like that. Okay. And then on this diagram, we have 55 degrees, we have 70 degrees, and that is F, that is E, that is G. Then we have a C there, and this is B, and then that is point A, and that is point D. So now the question is saying, in the following diagram, angle ABE is 55 degrees, then angle BFC is actually 70 degrees. Find the FCD, angle FCD, which is actually over here. So now, if you try to see, this is actually an isosceles triangle. It is actually an isosceles triangle. So now what we are going to do is that using this 70, we are going to find the angle that is supposed to be here. So in an isosceles triangle, two angles are always equal, meaning the angle at B and the angle at C, they're actually going to be equal. So now what are we going to do there? So we're going to add 70, then let's label this as X. So now we're going to add 70 plus X. Remember, the reason being why we are representing these two angles by X is because they are equal, and this is an isosceles triangle there. So now X plus X is equals to 180 degrees. Then if you say 2X is equals to 180 degrees minus 70, which will actually give you 110 degrees. 2X is equals to 110 degrees. Divided by 2, then X is actually equal to 55 degrees. So now, if the angle that is over here, it is actually 55 degrees, that means that we can find the angle at C. So now, the question said, can you find FCD? So you say, therefore, FCD is equals to, the whole lot of this is actually 180. So you say this is 180 minus the angle at the angle that is representing X there, which is in this case 55 degrees. If you subtract those two numbers, you are actually going to get a 125 degrees as your final answer. So meaning that our FCD there was actually 125. That is FCD. And now for the last and final question, question 29. Question 29. Last and final question, that is our question 30. Question 30. An amount of money was actually shared between Peter and John. Take note of those names. We have Peter and we have John. These two shared an amount of money in the ratio 2 to 3 respectively. If John got 600, calculate the amount of money that was being shared. So they want us to find the amount of money that was being shared. How are we going to do that? Wow, I've never actually met such a hard question. My mind is hating like no man's business. But now, what you need to understand is that we can actually find the amount of money that John shared. You get? So now, how are we going to do that? So we say each share was actually shared by the ratio. So the ratio of John there is actually 3. So 3 is representing John, as you can see they are equal there. So this is 3 divided by the total ratio, which is in this case is 5. Now 3 over 5 multiplied by the total amount of money that was being shared, of which we are going to use X to represent the total amount of money that was being shared. Now John got a 600. So where there is John, you're going to replace with a 600, then that is a 3 over 5, then multiplied by X. Remember, X is representing the total amount that these guys were actually sharing. Then from there, you actually close multiply, or before you close multiply, just multiply that by 5 so that you get rid of the denominator there. So now 5 times 6, it is actually 30. So meaning that 5 times 600, you're going to get 3,000, which is equals to 5 times 3 over 5, you're going to get 3x there. So 3 times x, it is actually 3x, then times 5, you get 3x, just like that. Then now you say you divide by 3, then x as the total amount of money that was being shared is equals to 3,000 divided by 3 is actually 1,000 kwacha. So this means that these guys were actually sharing 1,000 kwacha, and out of 1,000 kwacha, John got a 600 kwacha. This means that Peter got a 400 kwacha. So that is the end of our session. Hoping to see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and see you next time.